Hey, what's up guys? Blake here with another video. Don't know why I did that, but we did it anyway. Today I got a pretty interesting video, I think. I want to just sort of sit down, have a chat to you guys today about how to successfully keep shrimp in community tanks, give you a few little tips, and then I'll let you know why this combination here behind me is one of my absolute favorites. So let's jump straight into the video. Okay, so first of all, you might have tried cherry shrimp before in the past and had mixed success. You basically get them for your community tank, you put them in, and they all just disappear and you never see them again. You're not quite sure if they're eaten, if they're hiding, who knows what. So my first tip, and I think this is really important, is take it slow and take your time. First of all, if you set up the tank, give it a long period of time. It will seem kind of like a ridiculous amount of time, maybe like a month or so, to just let the tank sort of accumulate a natural biofilm, little microcrustacean colony. And at that point you get your shrimp first, and your shrimp will have plenty of little foods and pieces of algae and biofilm and all that to munch on and have a good time. And then they will also feel pretty comfortable in that space. They're not sort of going immediately into the Thunderdome where they have to fight for their survival. So that would be the key, I believe, is let the tank properly. I know people feel a bit funny about the word cycle, but I think mature is probably a more relevant word in this context. Let the tank mature, then get the cherry shrimp first. Always start with the bottom of the food chain and then build up from there with your community tanks, which I think is something that is often neglected when we do this. So let them jump in first, get their breeding going and stuff like that. Let them all find their little hidey holes and everything like that. And at that point, maybe once you see your first lot of babies, that's the point where you can start to add other fish. So you can start to add your tetras and things. The next kind of thing to be mindful of is it's very important to consider whether your fish are naturally going to predate on things like cherry shrimp or not. For example, these guppies behind me, they don't really mind too much about shrimp. It's a similar story with bedders. You probably find that some of them are just temperamental and don't want anything around, so they'll just kill them for fun. Others, they couldn't care less if there's shrimp or snails or anything in the aquarium with them. I'd say for the most part, tetras and things like that are probably pretty safe, depending on which ones. Another thing, if you can do it, everything is going to appreciate it more if you can keep a planted tank, and the time that you allowed early days is going to let those plants really establish. The more they grow, the more hiding space for the shrimp, which gives them a bit of a refuge point so that they can go relax, you know, and not feel constantly scared and things like that. I liken the existence of a shrimp in a community tank to like a zombie outbreak. You know, those movies where you can't just get comfortable, you can't just have a rest, because that's the point where zombies sort of invade and you know, you got to try and escape the house or whatever. That's kind of like what it's like being a cherry shrimp. It's not the most glamorous existence ever, but you need to sort of give them somewhere to escape to so that they can relax. It doesn't have to be too much. Things like cholla wood are really great, but any sort of driftwood or rocks or decorations or live plants will all provide those sheltering areas and areas that they can go and just be safe from everything for a minute while they recuperate. So in my experience, giving it time, getting a nicely established, mature, planted tank, putting the shrimp in first, letting them sort of find their territory and start breeding, always goes a really long way to the success of keeping shrimp in a community tank. And then on top of that, making sure I don't put anything in there that's going to go crazy on a shrimp dining spree, such as a lot of barbs are guilty of this. Angelfish will pick them off. Rainbow fish love to munch on a cherry shrimp. Anything that's sort of really fast with like a big enough mouth, that's probably going to be a bad idea. So just keep that in mind and you'll probably do fine. Now, why do I like this combination back here? So what we've got is guppies, cherry shrimp and bristlenose. And the reason I love these combinations is because they all kind of leave each other alone and they can all successfully breed in the one tank. It's kind of a really hard combination to find, and also all of the breeding will take place without human intervention. So give the bristlenose a cave and they'll leave the shrimp alone, even though they're both bottom dwellers. The bristlenose will breed in their cave and do all that sort of thing, but they're basically herbivorous, so they will have a little bit of protein, but they won't actively hunt out a shrimp, so you're all good there. Guppies, very much top water fish, and for the most part they have quite small mouths and larger fins. So they're slowed down, they're not that likely to go down to the bottom of the aquarium, and all of their babies are right at the top of the aquarium as well. So for that reason, I think all levels of the aquarium, except potentially the middle, has lots of activity. Everything will breed in there and it will just be a really good time. So I always recommend that as a combination, and if I was setting it up, once again, I'd put the shrimp in first, probably then the bristlenose, and then get the guppies in last, just to make things safe. So hopefully you liked this video, hopefully you found it informative, and let me know down below if you've got some other tips and tricks for successfully keeping shrimp in community tanks. If you did like the video, it always helps me out to smash like, hit subscribe, and all that fun stuff. I'll catch you on the next one. Thanks for watching.